Bariatric surgery versus weight loss injections. In this video, I'm going to go through all the pros, all the cons, and I will go through a definitive winner. And the result might surprise you. Both of these processes have been around for years, decades in fact. And over that time, bariatric surgery no doubt has come out on top. There's been a whole raft of different injections that have come along, stopped, and haven't really worked for people. They might work a little bit in the short term. Sickness goes through the roof, and they just stop and they bring out another one. But in recent times, it seems that through Ozempic, through Wegovy, and indeed Mounjaro, it seems to have brought it closer together. It seems like there is actually an alternative to bariatric surgery, which, as I say, has been the king of offering great weight loss to obese individuals, 60 to 70%, depending whether it's a sleeve or a bypass. And of course, like you have to do on all of these processes, you have to work with the tool, you have to work with the injections, and that's going to be the key thing I'm going to be talking about today. If you think that you just have these things done and it is job done, believe me now, that will fail. It's just part of the process when it comes to having these done. There's a lot of people who think, oh, it's a quick fix, job done. We need to get that message away. The stigma that it's the easy way, the stigma that it's no difficulty towards doing it, let's just get rid of it for now. Both of these tools can offer aggressive weight loss to start with, and the key is how you use that to bring your life back. The worry about injections is, in my opinion, it seems that aggressive weight loss occurs, but energy levels and nutrient density seems to peter out over the course of time. Whereas bariatric surgery, it does seem that people maybe struggle with the recovery process in the early stages, the first 6 weeks or so, and from that seem to rise into the whole process. There's an encouragement to eat more food over time. You're able to eat more food over time. Whereas injections, it seems that there can be more difficulty to that. And people think that's part of the charm when it could actually be part of the problem. Before I go down that road though, as promised, let's talk about the pros and cons of bariatric surgery. So the positives are tremendous history, tremendous data to show that this does work. Again, you've got to work with it, but it does work with regards to aggressive weight loss, particularly in that first year, and weight loss can still occur thereafter. All food groups are still very much available, and that is a good thing. You know, we want to encourage moderation, we want to encourage people to understand how to work with their body, their habits, and bariatric surgery, due to that aggressive weight loss you get early on, seems to allow people to find that balance and moderation quite nicely over the course of time. Another big positive is that it is permanent. I mentioned it earlier on, but it is a permanent solution. It's always going to be there, whereas on the injections, I'll touch on that later, but of course, the idea is that eventually you don't take them anymore. I think people who think that they can stay on these for a long time because Mounjaro insists there's other benefits, I do think that's a bit misled. But we'll go over to injections in a moment, because I'm not just going to say the negatives. There are some positives to these guys for sure. Another big positive of bariatric surgery, when done in the right place, I'm not counting abroad here, I have to say, as a UK-based citizen. I'm not saying that there's aspects that don't work abroad, but as an aftercare, I am biased. I do work for an aftercare company in this country. But with an aftercare complemented by the surgery, you can elicit fantastic results because that care is there, that support is there. It does seem, and maybe it's going to get better soon, but on injections that is lacking. And again, that could be a concern. Another positive of bariatric surgery is that even when someone's had the surgery done and they are losing aggressive amounts, and like any weight loss journey, you reach a bit of a stall and maybe it becomes tricky, you can go down the injection road as well. We need to make sure we're getting all our nutrients in, because that is a double restriction, so that you have to be very shrewd around that. Please, please, please have a support team, have someone who's going to help guide you through that. But you can do the two options. That can work. It doesn't really work over. You're not going to do the injections and then, well, the only reason you'd go from injections to bariatric surgery is because the injections haven't worked in the first place. On the negative side of bariatric surgery, some people might think it's quite intrusive, the fact that there is actually an operation occurring. On the costing side of things, while I do believe there are benefits to having a financial constraint towards something like this, of course, it is a lump sum up front that you have to pay, or indeed pay monthly, but that is a commitment, where in the injections, again, could be part of the negative. You can switch it on, you can switch it off, which we just got to keep an eye on that. And also a negative that can be perceived through bariatric surgery is that you're all in. It's for life. We're not changing anything here. That is it. And I think, again, on injections, there's this idea that you can do it for a period of time, and then once you're off it, you can find that balance. On the positive side of injections, yes, there is less commitment to it. It's not all in, it's not for the rest of your life. Another positive is that no doubt it does work. You know, we're seeing results across the board here. Just like bariatric surgery, this is not specific to weight loss injections, but there is a worry that maybe on social media you only see the good news. The worry with that is that, and basically bariatric and weight loss injections, is that if it doesn't quite go in the right direction, people don't tend to report it on social media as much. There can be a shame, and there's no reason to feel shame. It's very normal for weight stalls to occur. Again, working with both processes is very, very important. But for me, it's just something that you can be aware of in injections, because obviously you can just stop taking them. You can stop paying for them. Weight loss will always slow down over time. There will always be stalls with weight loss. And if you're doing something which is potentially quite sicky by nature, weight loss slows down, you're paying monthly money, there is a worry that you could just switch it off. Whereas on bariatric surgery, again, like I said, it's permanent, and I think you can lean into the tool a bit further when that's the case. Another positive of bariatric surgery is that it is fantastic for weight loss, but it's actually tremendous at controlling weight gain. I have to put another asterisk there. Of course, people can experience weight gain on bariatric surgery, but you'd really have to go against the guidelines. So not prioritizing meals, just snacking, not exercising, not prioritizing protein. Yes, weight gain can occur, but you have to go really against it. Whereas on the injections, we don't know too much data when people come off them. I haven't seen too many stories of a year, 2, 3 years of people off injections, because the data's not there, because Wegovy, Mounjaro, and Ozempic haven't been out that long, so we can't look at that data so much. Both of these processes, no doubt about it, are fantastic if you have got type 2 diabetes. So if you are a type 2 diabetic, again, permanent solution. No doubt this solution works if you want to have that flexibility after coming off the injection, but both of these can be extremely effective for type 2 diabetes, which is a big, big, big positive of both. A positive of weight loss injections is no doubt the financial side of it. It doesn't feel so all in, which to me, if for example, you are, a couple of months from holiday, you want to get a result, it can be extremely effective for that. I feel like I'm just going down the negative road, but again, what's the plan after the holiday? That's something I'll be looking at to make sure that we are looking at the whole plan. And a lot of what I'm talking about, I'm going to get to this in a moment, is what is the end game? The end game has to be that we are a byproduct of our good habits to the point where weight is no longer dictating our life, no longer defining us, no longer dictating our mood. And I have to say, by assessing both, I do believe that while it might feel more intrusive to start with, while it might be the permanent solution, but I think that's actually part of its charm. For me, the fact that people tend to grow into the process of bariatric surgery. I got off a call live with someone yesterday, 10 stone down, running half marathons, looking forward to a skydive, tend to be growing into it. I'm not saying for 1 second someone who goes down the Mounjaro road can't do these things either, but I worry about that end game. I haven't seen enough data 2-3 years post injections to suggest that this is a sustainable solution yet. I could be wrong. Please, this is not a categoric answer, but what I'm saying is at this time right now, these guys here, we just don't know enough long-term about it. I hope everyone gets the weight loss, because fundamentally for your health, weight loss is a tremendous thing to do. And please look at these assessments when it comes to the financial side, the psychological side, the end game, the ability to build habits. In my opinion, and I know people are going to say I'm biased, bariatric still wins. I understand why people might want to go down that road, down to the intrusive nature. That's fine. Maybe these guys can work quite for you for that. But beyond that, I'm all about sustainability. It's not rock and roll. It's not sexy, but it is the most important thing. And I just seem to see that aggressive weight loss can occur on both. But the worry here is the nutrient density. So if we switched off this receptor, are we able to get quality in our diet? I get the fulfillment, I get the food noise, but we can't just celebrate not eating. That's not the goal here. We can't just think, oh, I'm not eating anymore, that's a good thing. There's more to it than that. We should be in a position to exercise more, to fuel ourselves, to live an active lifestyle while being able to get the right nutrient density food. In the first 6 weeks post-procedure bariatric surgery, that's not a thing. None of those things really happen, okay? The weight loss is at its most aggressive, but then after that, the goal is that we start to build those habits in accordingly. And with an aftercare that can last you over 2 years, that's a really powerful position to be in. That's the best option. With this over here, again, it can work. If you are going down the black market road and getting it on the internet and lying about your BMI, I just can't begin to tell you how much that is not a good idea. Please, 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 if you are doing these guys over here, do it above board. And that's, again, a tick towards the bariatric surgery road here. You can only really do it above board. I appreciate going abroad can feel bumpy by nature sometimes, but at least there is a process there. Over here, The Wild West can be problematic. Please, just whatever you take from this. I realise I'm going here, there, and everywhere just a little bit because they complement each other. They are different processes. In my opinion, if you are of the obese nature, so I'm talking a BMI of over 35, I'd be leaning towards bariatric surgery, just for the fact it is a permanent solution and long-term you grow into the process. The reason why I am saying that the injections may be for someone of a lower BMI is that the longer weight loss goes on, the more there'll be stalls, the more the flexibility of the payments can be stopped, and the fallback from that can be quite hard. Both can work, both cannot work. It comes down to the individual, absolutely. But bear in mind the pros, bear in mind the cons that I've put across in quite a convoluted manner on here because I get excited. I do believe bariatric surgery is the answer. I hope that has helped. And regardless of what I say, just always ask yourself, what is the end game here? It has to involve movement. It has to involve sensible exercise. I'm not asking you to lift the world, I'm not asking you to run marathons, but it has to enable you to feel energized to grow with movement over the course of time. It has to be living a nutrient-dense diet. And I just worry injections offer that. People worry about bariatric surgery, you can eat more over time. That's part of the charm of it. It's the wrong way round. This idea that, oh, it's great because I can't eat, that's gonna fall hard then eventually. So whether you are bariatric or injections, please realize that if you are celebrating that you can't eat very much, that's the wrong way around. I appreciate we don't want to eat too much either, and both tools are effective at that, but we want to be not eating very much and growing into it in some maintenance calories where we can play around with deficit a little bit or be more active and be in a deficit accordingly. That's the goal long term. And please get behind that. Please get an understanding of that. And please, I hope that helped you. Thank you so much for listening. Whatever road you decide to go down, please always have the end game in mind. My name's been Harry Hedges. Thank you so much. I look forward to catching up with you soon.